Welcome to Profit Channels. This is my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor and I don't give financial advice. Please consider this video entertainment. Today I am talking about Patterson-UTI Energy, PTEN. It's at 550 right now, 559 post-market. Drilling and pressure pumping services, 5.69 dividend yield, which is nice. No price to earnings currently, but if we look annually, okay, pretty good loss here on the net income in 2024. Completion services, drilling services. You can see annually, not so much quarterly, but annually, we're cash flowing. Assets and liabilities look reasonable. On the income statement, you can see that fiscal year 24 and 23 were our best revenue years by far, but the gross profit in 24, despite the generous revenue, is down from 23 because the cost of goods sold is up. We've got, then we take out the operating expenses, so they are up for fiscal year 24 compared to previous years. And then we have this unusual income expense of almost $1 billion in fiscal year 24. So it's surprising that they still are cash flowing despite those big one-time losses. So there is no net income. And our average shares outstanding, it looks like fiscal year 24, we're at this new record high. But if I switch this to quarterly, our average basic shares outstanding, so a peak of 415 in Q4 23, and we're down to 385 million in Q2 25. So that is a good sign. We've got 18 analysts. Most are strong buy or hold. There's one sell, anywhere from 13 to 81% increase. If I look at Patterson compared to the divided by S&P 500, we have this pretty double bottom right here, which was bullish. Here's the monthly logarithmic chart, and you can see that we're touching a bottom we hit back here in 2001. So this has been a point of support before. You can see there's some action right here. We have bounced off our 200 moving average and have dove below everything, all our moving averages. So this looks pretty bearish. Or, another way is you're a good distance, nothing like here from the moving averages, but pretty good distance. And if we compare here, that's a bigger gap, but pretty good gap from the moving averages. On the weekly, we're bouncing off this 50, and there is a gap down here around $3, which is a little scary. Looking at the weekly, we're really kind of moving sideways here. And then to the daily, we are just bouncing along off the 100, and now the 100 and the 50 there are right together. It's been a while here since we've touched the 200, so I expect we need to come back to the 200. Let's get rid of our moving averages. Go back to the monthly. And we have this giant channel we've been moving in. Our midpoint line is pretty decent, so we're well below it. If I go to the weekly, we have a channel like this, where it also has a good midpoint line. And now we've just kind of gone sideways here a bit. There is an interesting line right here. So we got all these touches and we broke below it. Now we're trying to bounce above this. But currently we've got a pretty bearish weekly looking and day candle. So this is bullish engulfing as the red surrounds the day before. Back to the weekly. Let's get rid of this line. Let's go to the monthly. And I'm going to get the volume profiles out. And so on the monthly, we're below our long-term volume profiles. So we're going to end up returning to them at some point. On the weekly, we are right at our volume profiles. So just high volume right at this level we are currently at. And then on the daily, again, we are right at our point of control. I jump to the weekly, but we'll do a retracement here from the very bottom to the top. And here's our 236. It's a pretty nice looking line. 382 is pretty. And the 0.5 is our point of control. Then we have the 618 down here, which we could go down to. Close that up. I do a point of control fib retracement from this bottom. This is real pretty. We're right at the 618. The 236 looks good. The 382, 0.5. So that's two ways to slice it. We're at nice Fibonacci levels. It doesn't mean we couldn't go lower. Okay, let's do fib extension from the very bottom to the top to the bottom. And this is nice. It's 382, or I'm sorry, the 236, the 382, the 0.5, the 618. And if I close that, and I take the second bottom to do our extension. Here's our 236. So let's open them both for a second. So they're not a lot of confluence, but they are cutting up, showing some ranges here. We've got a lot of activity, but that's too much. Okay, so from the second bottom to the top to the bottom, you can see the 786 is perfectly at this historic top. Then 618 at our recent top, 0.5, 382, 236. So these are good looking bullish indicators, I think, these extensions. All right, so let's go over to our parabolic SAR and our super trend. And on the monthly, everything's looking pretty bearish. It looked like we might have a MACD crossover coming up. Stochastic has been oversold for a while. On the weekly, everything's still bearish up here. Real neutral down here. And then on the daily, so we finally made it back to our midpoint line on our MACD. This is a general upward trend. This is a general upward trend. Our average is at the midpoint line. We still need to get a bullish candle. And our stochastics are headed down. So keep an eye on this one. We do have mixed signals now on the daily. With the RSI Bollinger Band strategy, we fell out of the Bollinger Band on the monthly, went off the moving average, and have come down here. So far, a bullish monthly candle. Money flow index is not doing anything. Squeeze momentum is not doing anything. ADX is not doing anything. On the weekly, we've touched our Bollinger Band and moved sideways. Money flow index is neutral. Squeeze momentum is neutral. And we have a slight downward trend. And finally, on the daily, we were outside of the Bollinger Band and we moved sideways into it. Our money flow index is starting to creep up. General upward trend. Squeeze momentum is bullish, but becoming less bullish. And we have no trend. So I'd like to see on the weekly, our volume is going down. So we do have some pretty high volume in here. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, I'd like to see positive daily candle, positive weekly candle, and some volume going. But on the profile, we've got the volume. But on the day, you're still missing it. So that's what I'm looking for. I think this is an interesting proposition, but again, don't take my financial advice. If you like it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Talk to you later.